asks youths to resist being used for do-or-die politics. Chief Judge of Lagos State says standard of legal training has fallen. Obasanjo says some presidential aspirants should be in jail if EFCC did its job. And on the foreign scene, Russia announces ceasefire in 2 Ukrainian cities. Good evening and welcome to News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Toluwale K. Ali. Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Benin, Tukur Yusuf Buratai, has warned Nigerian youths to resist the temptation to be used as tools by do-or-die politicians who want to stir up trouble in their communities. In his message, Buratai told the youths to embrace the tenets of political dynamism and root out every factor that contributes to the democracy deficit in Nigeria. He listed some of those deficits as voter apathy, ballot snatching, looting, arson, and the likes. He noted that the youth will be the #1 population bloc that will suffer the consequences of bad governance and incompetent leaders in the future. The Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Kazeem Alugba, has called on legal educators and others to help salvage the falling level of legal training and education in the country. Alugba traced the downward trend to the manner some students acquire their ordinary level general certificate in education results by patronizing miracle centers where they are helped to pass their examinations. The Emir of Katsina State, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, has said that it is impossible for him to work against the presidential ambition of former governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. He noted that his support is because of Tinubu's long-standing relationship with the Emirates, which predates his accession to the throne. The Emir made the remark when he received a delegation of members of the Ariwa Organization's movement for Tinubu's 2023 presidency in his palace. He promised to look into the political aspiration of the All Progressive Congress national leader and also offer advice and corrections whenever the need arises. A former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has cried out that some persons aspiring to be president of the country in 2023 should be in jail if the EFCC performed its job well. Obasanjo stated this during an international symposium to mark his 85th birthday in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Speaking during the event, he argued that though many presidential hopefuls have visited him to solicit support for their ambition, he has not endorsed any aspirant. He added that with the current situation of the country, he will not endorse anyone hastily without making valid consultations and observing well-defined principles and criteria. Obasanjo also lamented that if Nigeria continues in the same pattern of recycling, sweet word campaigning, maneuvering without the substance of integrity, honesty, patriotism, commitment, outreach, courage, and the understanding of what makes a nation, it might soon be over for Nigeria as a country.
The grace of God. And you know, if you leave things to God, there's nothing God cannot do. You can make your life at 85 like the life of 45. And it can make your life at 45 the life of 85.
In the same vein, Obasanjo has ascribed the attainment of old age to God's grace. He said this while speaking to newsmen after a novelty football match between his presidential library and Ogun State government to celebrate his 85th birthday in Abeokuta, the state capital. He also advised people to live elderly.
And it can make your life at 45 the life of 85. What is important is that we should ask God for His grace to abound on us.
So what's your advice to your people like you who are older than doing the exercise?
I will ask them to remember what I call dreams. Dreams. 1, diet. 2, rest. 3, exercise. 4 medical examination, medical attention, and 5 social interaction.
The Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yorubaland, Gani Adams, has stressed the need for world leaders to come together to resolve the crisis between Russia and Ukraine, warning that the ongoing clash may lead to global economic crash. Gani Adams stressed that there is a possibility for the worsening clash between the two countries to degenerate into a war that will wreak havoc on the nations of the world and their economies. Gani Adams, who stated the effects of the Second World War is still telling on many nations of the world, appealed to the concerned nations to reach a roundtable agreement on time so as to prevent a repeat of history. Speaking on the state of Nigeria's economy, he stated that Nigeria has to be restructured politically if she must move forward. He argued that the constitutional amendments by lawmakers will be an exercise in futility without restructuring the nation.
A lot of lessons, and there's nothing like peace. I think for you to engage in war, it's better you jojo. So I will appeal to the two countries to share their sword and resolve this issue amicably, because it's affecting world economy. It's affecting world economy. Before you know, the war will affect an economy, will be in another economic crunch, which will affect everybody. Because when two elephants are fighting, the grass will suffer. Talking of Russia, the most highest powerful nuclear weapon producer in the whole world. So we have to be very careful and take this thing in a normal approach so that it won't take us to another third world war.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Ebun Adegboruwa, has described as illegal the new dress code for female police officers. In a statement today, the lawyer argued that the new dress code should be reversed. It will be recalled that the Nigeria Police Force has approved a new dress code that allows female police officers to voluntarily wear stud earrings, headscarves under their beret, or peak caps while on uniform. According to him, the religion of public officers, including members of the security agencies, should be a private matter to them. He also added that the Inspector General of Police does not have the right to use the platform of his office to enforce religion. Adegboruwa said the institution of the Nigeria Police should focus on issues confronting it, such as low morale, poor welfare, poor infrastructure, and poor training. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, has urged the commissioners of police across the country to strengthen their leadership capacity and operational strategies in dealing with crimes-associated issues. Baba gave the charge in Abuja during the monthly meeting with senior police officers in the country. Baba charged them to brace up to the anticipated internal security challenges ahead of the forthcoming 2023 general elections. According to him, the election should set the stage for increased criminal activities, especially political and economic-related crimes. Baba emphasized that while the stop and search strategy is an invaluable anti-crime tactic, it should be conducted with extant police protocols to ensure civility to members of the public. He further commended police personnel across the country for their resilience, courage, and loyalty to the country.
That the force could further be challenged by the enhanced political activities that are associated with the upcoming 2023 general election. The import of this is that beyond our routine anti-crime activities, we have to be prepared not just to deal with politically related infractions that could ensure, but also with preparations ahead to guarantee the security and credibility of the elections. In due course, we shall be engaging in activities that will fully prepare us for the effective performance of our roles in the election, part of which would be to liaise with the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Nigeria Bar Association, civil society organizations, and the Nigeria Police Legal Chamber towards dissecting the provisions of the Electoral Act recently amended. This is with a view to ensuring that all our activities are situated within the dictates of the Electoral Act 2022. Indeed, there are still areas of grave concern as well as developments that will undoubtedly task our strategic leadership capacity as the year unfolds. One of such concern is the conduct and attitude of our men, especially police officers on the field. I have continually been inundated by complaints of excesses in the conduct of our men on patrol or on stop and search duties. And I have personally had the cause to drive around, in the course of which I witnessed some of these illegalities, particularly in relation to roadblock and stop and search. I want to re-emphasize that while stop and search strategy could occasionally be an invaluable anti-crime tactic, such should not be done without requisite approval and must not be a permanent strategy. It must equally be conducted with excellent police protocols, which emphasizes civility to members of the public and must be laced with the highest level of professional decorum. Such must not also be turned into an avenue of extortion.
Away from that, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has disclosed that another batch of amendment to the 1999 Constitution will soon start. Gbajabiamila made this known today while speaking with newsmen in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The lawmaker noted that there will be more devolution of power from the exclusive to the concurrent list in the new amendment. According to him, both chambers of the National Assembly will harmonize the amendments and also send to the state houses of assembly.
Devolution of powers. No, that's restructuring. I think there were about five or six items where we devolved powers from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. And that's a form of restructuring, a major form of restructuring, correctional services, stamp duties, and so on and so forth. And the local government autonomy is also a form of restructuring. And I believe that the constitutional amendment is ongoing. There will be a second batch of amendments that will come up very soon. I don't know when. And then we'll have a wholesale look at the remaining sections, and then we can talk even better on that, on the issue of restructuring. I believe there will be some more devolution of powers from the exclusive to the concurrent list.
It's important, especially with the background of the debate going on in the National Assembly on gender issues. We need to have more women on the table making the decisions. We'll keep pushing the envelope and make sure, like other states emulate Kwara, where we have passed the bill into law, 35% for women in political appointments. We spoke about this issue with the Right Honourable Speaker, and I will continue to engage the National Assembly on that matter.
The maiden convocation ceremony of the First Technical University today witnessed the graduation of 63 students as the first set of graduates of the institution. At the event, 12 students bagged first-class degrees, while 25 bagged second-class upper, 24 students bagged second-class lower, and 2 at the third class. The ceremony also witnessed the conferment of doctorate degrees in various academic fields to 5 awardees. Taiwo Olariwaju completes the report.
The maiden convocation ceremony of the First Technical University today witnessed the graduation of 63 students as the first set of graduates in the institution. At the event, 12 students bagged first class, 25 second upper, 24 second lower, and 2 third class. The ceremony also witnessed conferment of doctorate degrees in various academic fields to 5 awardees, including the Chancellor of the University. Representing the Oyo State Governor, the Secretary to the State Government, Olubamiwo Adekemi Adeosun, congratulated the graduates. Adeosun added that the ceremony is significant in the history of the institution. She also urged the management of the institution to see education as a key aspect of growth and development. Adeosun further urged the graduates to join hands with the Oyo State Government by building and encouraging others in vocational and entrepreneurship skills.
In today's world, emphasis has shifted from white-collar jobs, which are not readily available, to self-employment. In essence, therefore, attention has shifted towards institutions that prepare graduate job providers and not bare job seekers. This is in line with the current global reality, which is bent towards institutions that produce self-reliant graduates, either through gainful employment or personal investment after graduation.
In his words, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Ayobami Salami, said the graduates are from different socio-economic backgrounds but have been united in sound and robust knowledge.
They may differ in origins and tongues. They may hail from different socio-economic backgrounds. But they are unified in sound and robust knowledge that will set them apart from the crowd anywhere they find themselves. The one that guarantees them a worthwhile that over 80% of first-class honors in the university hail from the hinterlands. This university therefore occupies a unique space of bringing the best out of our youth and providing elitist education to the children of the less privileged. With this, history has been made forever and legacy edge in school. It is actually an emotional moment for me as my tenure ends in the next month, the 30th of May in 2022. This is the first and the last convocation I will attend at the Vice-Chancellor of this university.
On his part, the Chancellor of the University, Dr. Tunde Afolabi, congratulated the graduates, adding that the feat is a good step towards achieving aspirations. He admonished them to be prepared to take chances, risks, and not to be afraid to fail.
The reality of the new world into which you are graduating is that it is extremely competitive, somewhat brutal. You win laurels and defeat the monster with ideas. Good ideas about what you really want out of life. You can guess that they will do the non-limited comfort, recognition, adding value, making a difference, and developing spiritually. Graduating today is a good step towards achieving your aspirations, but this is just the beginning. Going forward, you have to be equipped with the spirit of appreciation.
The guest speaker of the occasion, Emeritus Professor Julius A. Okoji, who spoke on the topic "A Skilled and Knowledgeable Workforce, the Key to Sustainable Development in Nigeria," affirmed that education is the bedrock to national development.
Only the best should teach and study at that level. We have a good foundation in the world.
One of the award recipients, Chief Ama Pepe, admonished the students to always aim for higher heights, adding that she has achieved greater heights through education.
Look at today, I think they gave out 11 prizes. 8 of them were to women, which shows that when the women have opportunity, they do very well. But if you do not have education, if you do not have the opportunity, how will you make an impact?
Also, the best overall student, Afonja Miriam Adewumi, with the CGPA of 4.9 speaks on her achievement.
One thing I always find easy in this life is I found reading interesting, and God make it easy for me.
Highlights of the ceremony include the conferment of degrees, doctorate degrees, and recognition of personalities in attendance. Taiwo Olanrewaju, IATV News.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Lucky Irabor, has assured Nigerians that this year 2022 will see peace returning to all troubled parts of the country. Irabor gave the assurance in Abuja today at the 2022 International Military Sports Council Day run for the armed forces and security agencies. He said the world needs peace at this time, given the tension of monumental proportions ongoing between Russia and Ukraine and the various security challenges confronting Nigeria. He assured that peace is returning to various troubled parts of Nigeria as the security forces have been playing their roles at redressing the challenges. He also thanked Nigerians for the support they've given to members of the armed forces and other security agencies in tackling insecurity in the country. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the permanent forfeiture of properties seized from Kola Aluko, an ally of Desiani Alison Madueke, a former petroleum minister. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, valued one of the forfeited properties in Abuja at $18 million. A federal judge, Okun Abang, in January 2022, granted a request by the EFCC for the final forfeiture of the assets traced to Aluko. The anti-graft agency, adding the forfeiture request, said the $18 billion edifice located in Abuja is made up of a guest house, boys' quarters, security outpost, swimming pool and underground control room for the remote control of electrical appliances in the property. Delivering its verdict, a three-man panel of the Court of Appeal, headed by Elfreda Williams Dawodo, held that the Aluku's appeal against the confiscation of his properties lacked merit. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has accused the federal government of making plans to abduct and bring back top Biafra agitators from outside the country to Nigeria. IPOB also alleged that a lawyer of Igbo extraction has been recruited by the federal government to achieve their aim. In a statement by its media and publicity secretary, Imar Powerful, the group urged him not to make himself a tool to the federal government of Nigeria to achieve unlawful acts. As the geopolitical strife between Russia and Ukraine, which has assumed a terrifying dimension with the ongoing Russia invasion of Ukraine, has undoubtedly become a cause of concern to many, IATV's Ayodele Fakeye reports that this is because the Russia-Ukraine war has distorted global financial and energy markets, causing oil prices to spike and financial instruments to fall after Russian troops moved into Ukraine by air, land and sea. Reacting to the development, a media and conflict expert, Shola, while giving reasons behind the invasion, said there has been tensions between Russia and Ukraine for a long time, even as he revealed that the situation escalated in early 2021. Ishola likewise said Nigeria's economy will be negatively impacted by the war, stressing that the international community has to be strategic in meddling in the war, as well as handling the crisis.
Been predicted over a period of time for a number of reasons. One, the hegemonic ambition of Vladimir Putin has been there for a while. He still swims in the nostalgia of the former Soviet Union, and he thought he could still bring back those countries that were within the Union during the Cold War era and especially during the communist era, even though a lot have changed since that time. Is wary of the dominance of NATO and members of NATO, threatening his hegemonic tendencies in Eastern Europe. And of course, you know that America is one that is rallying NATO around, and already many of the former Soviet states have become members of NATO, save the closest to his border, such as Ukraine, Georgia, Belarus, and a few others like that. And so it's not so comfortable with them sharing borders with him and then going to join NATO.
On the foreign scene, Russia's defense ministry has announced a ceasefire to allow residents of two besieged cities, Mariupol and Volnovakha, evacuate. The Russian side declared a regime of silence and opened humanitarian corridors for the exit of civilians from Mariupol and Volnovakha. There is no immediate confirmation from Ukrainian forces, and it is not immediately clear how long the evacuation routes would be open. Both countries had earlier agreed on the need for humanitarian corridors to deliver aid and help civilians exit besieged Ukrainian cities, in the first apparent sign of progress in talks between the warring sides. Britain's government has asked British nationals to consider leaving Russia if their presence is not essential amid ongoing tensions over the war in Ukraine. The government also lamented that with the tit-for-tat sanctions hitting airlines, it may not be possible to fly directly to Ukraine or via European Union countries, but that traveling via the Middle East or Turkey may be possible. To end the news, another look at the major items. Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Benin, Buratai, tasks youths to resist being used for do-or-die politics. Chief Judge of Lagos State says standard of legal training has fallen. Obasanjo says some presidential aspirants should be in jail if EFCC did its job. And on the foreign scene, Russia announces ceasefire in 2 Ukrainian cities. That ends news round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. Many thanks for watching. I am Toluwaleke Ali. Good night.